All right, we're going to convert expanded form circle equations to standard form circle equations. And the first two moves we can actually do at the same time. We're going to start by rearranging the equation based off of x's and y's and moving the constant. So I'm going to do this with two separate colors so it's easier to see. So I'm going to take that x squared, I'm going to put it right here, and then I'm going to take that positive 4x, I'm going to put it right next to it. And then I'm going to go and look at my y values. So I've got y squared plus y squared minus 2y. And then I am going to move the positive 20, which is our constant. That's our second thing. Move the constant over to the other side. Okay, so that is going to equal to positive 20. The second thing that I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and complete the square for the x and the y's. Now remember, completing the square is just simply taking a box, okay, and making sure that it is a square, meaning that the sides are exactly the same on both sides of the square. So how we do that, I take x squared, I put it right here, and I know that the sum of this diagonal right here has to be 4x. So now let's fill in the box. So x times x, which will give us x squared. And now I know that it's a square. So this piece and this piece right there have to be exactly the same. So that means that the two numbers that go into the boxes have to be the same, which means it's half of 4. So that is just simply 2x and 2x. Okay, so that means I'm going to have x plus 2 and x plus 2. Okay, now as we do that, we do find out that there is a box that is empty that when we do the multiplication it fills in, and that is because 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, and that 4 was not originally there. It was an empty spot in the box, so we're going to have to account for that in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down this piece right there, and I'm simply going to write x plus 2 squared, and that is because there's x plus 2 times x plus 2 right there. Okay, now I'm going to come down to the other one. I'm going to write y squared, and then we know that at the diagonal this needs to add to negative 2y. Well, this becomes y and y. These two are going to be exactly the same because it is a square. So y plus blank and y plus blank, or y minus blank and y minus blank, have to be the same. So I cut that negative 2 in half because that'll make them the same, negative 1y, and that gives me negative 2y. So I get y minus 1 and y minus 1, which gives me, guess what? Y minus 1 squared, because there are 2 of them. Okay, now I do have a new value in that box, and you'll see that negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Okay, and those are both new values that have been accounted for in these binomials. Okay, so now I've got to get to the last part. I take that 20, okay, and because I accounted for the 4 over here on the left and the 1 over here on the left, I filled it into those boxes. I'm going to add them to the other side as well. So the equation is balanced. So plus 4 and plus 1. Now we just rewrite the equation, which is x plus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals to 20 plus 4, which is 24, plus 1 is 25. Now, what is the center and what is the radius? Okay, so the center is just simply, well, opposite of the 2 and the opposite of negative 1, which is negative 2, 1. And the radius is the square root of 25, which we know the square root of 25 is going to be positive 5.